All right, lines into Meltdown, calls into Meltdown, 17 days to decide, 30 minutes to explain the decision. Your take, your call. Harry, good afternoon.
How you going, Jason?
Hey, Harry.
I'll be quick, my friend. Mr. Windsor, I respected what he said. Mr. Oakeshott, he was like a sales rep trying to convince himself and his constituents the decision he made was correct.
Yeah.
And I'm really sad about that because he got bought out. That's all I've got to say, Jason.
Thanks for the call, Harry. It's all about stability, remember? Rhonda, hi.
Say, I hope that Australians remember the name Oakeshott and Windsor because they have sold Australia out to the worst government ever. Those names need to remember, and when they go back to the polls next time, it won't matter to Windsor. The people of his electorate need to get rid of him.
Thanks for the call, Rhonda. Barry, g'day.
Hi, how are you?
Hey, Barry.
Yeah, no hope now, mate. As soon as I've paid the truck off, I'm in. That's it. Won't be buying any more. I'm selling up what I've got with the Labor government. The mines tax, they've already said they're going to increase the fuel rebate. No, it's not worth it, mate. It's not worth it at all. I'll go and work for a multinational.
Thanks for the call, Barry. I think the point is probably the only thing that Oakeshott got right is that the use of the word mandate is not acceptable. No one has a mandate in this result. Nobody. Labor lost the election but has retained power with the siding up of the independents. Joseph, g'day.
Hey, Jason, great show. I'm boiling over here, but I'll be real quick, How pathetic was that? And the decision, very disappointed. Here we have a situation. Australia had spoken overwhelmingly who they wanted to be governed and stop the waste, basically. And here we have these three guys. They've got issues, their own area issues, and that's understandable, and there's improvements that can be made. But how in your right mind could you consider going back to Labor after all that waste? The list is too long, and we constantly are reminded. Thank you, Jason.
Joseph, thanks for the call. Interesting that both talked about stability. I cannot recall it being said about good government. Isn't that the test? Stability certainly is an aspect, but is that more important than good government? And they have returned a government that I think the verdict of the public was that it wasn't a good government. They've returned that government. Brendan, hi.
G'day, Jace. Love the show.
Hey, Brendan.
Mate, I'm just ropeable today. Mate, we don't know what sort of backdoor deals have been done here and the costings behind them. I mean, we've got the biggest deficit on record. How much further are we going to go in the red is the question.
Thanks for the call, mate. 131873. Veronica, hi.
Hi, Jason.
Hello, Veronica.
Thanks for take my call. I'm really disappointed. Why we call this democracy and why go for election when three people decided our future? That's not fair.
Well, more than three, indeed. It's five, but yeah.
I was just listening to all of these three, and the last one just makes me really upset.
Now, if you've just got in your car and you're wondering what all this is about, what has happened is that Tony Windsor and Rob Oakeshott have sided with Labor. About an hour and a half ago, Bob Katter said that he could not and went with the coalition. So the state of the numbers is 76 to Labor 74. Labor can form a government with a majority, and with the Speaker to be appointed out of that, they still have a majority, but a deal that will allow them to pair the Speaker, which would mean that they have a barrier in the event that somebody in that coalition changes their view. So it's 76-74. Labor has essentially won office, but they haven't won the election. Angela, hi.
Hi, Jason. Jason, we now have to fight for democracy. We've got to mobilize, we've got to organize demonstrations, send emails, ring everybody, and get the Prime Minister the people voted for, and not these three idiots. He was right about one thing. They want to change this country from a democracy to a dictatorship, and that's not going to happen. People must not give up. They've got to get angry. They've got to demand that we have another election. This cannot be allowed to go on. He was apologizing all that time. He was frightened of voicing his decision. This is not acceptable, Jason. People need to don't give up and get angry and get active.
Thanks for the call, Angela. Jenny, g'day.
Hi, Jason. Love your show.
Hi, Jenny.
I'm just going to say how shocked I am, how bitterly disappointed I am. Oakeshott's name will be remembered in history, and so will Tony Windsor's, because it's a very bad decision. This is a government that do not deserve to be re-elected at all.
All right, thanks for the call, Jenny. We're going to stay with the calls for a bit here. There's a lot of people who want to let off a bit of steam.